are you?
I'm fantastic. I am blabbing live in my city.
Oh, I love it. How fun is this?
In my car. This is what it is when we have live content, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what? I'm so excited that you're with me tonight because we've been trying to talk to each other for, I don't even know how long it is, like with your show, my show, and everything that we're trying to do. So I think you're fabulous. I'm glad you're here.
Oh, I feel like I've connected with you virtually for the last year. And yeah, it's just so wonderful to be on here with you.
Yeah, thank you. I agree. I feel the same way. We have some people online with us. Carolyn Caputo. Hello. And there's quite a few people that are subscribed. I can't really tell if they're online. I'm new to Blab, so let's hope I can see them later. So let's.
Did you hit the record button? That's the most important thing.
I missed the first 10 minutes with Krisha last week.
I did too.
Yeah. And she was like, we both know she's fabulous. I just want to read this quick paragraph from your bio on your website. I absolutely love it. So I'm Jennifer Scott. I'm an energy healer, energy worker, healer, and no bullshit high heel wearing life coach who helps self-help junkies stuck in the perpetual search for abundance, happiness, better relationships, or enlightenment of some sort. And they still aren't seeing results. Get in touch with the only guide they've ever really needed, themselves.
Yes.
I absolutely love that.
Yay!
So for those on the line, there's a lot of people that are new to, the buzzword manifesting, but what you call creating. So tell me a little bit about how you became this fabulous energy healer coach that helps people do just that.
Well, basically, I think for anyone that's in coaching or consulting or helping people, it comes because what they end up doing connects to their own story or their own journey, right? So
oh, you're breaking up a little bit.
For me, I always had this deep. Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can. You feel for a little bit there, but
is this okay?
Yes, it is now. Yeah. Yes, it is now. Yeah.
I had a deeper longing, or the deep longing that I had was first to free myself from anxiety and panic disorder. And then it was to create a loving, supportive, awesome relationship. Then it was to create a successful, fun, heart-centered biz where I got to help people and just like live a freedom lifestyle and just rock it out. And all three of those things, the last one more recently, but all three of those things happened to me over the course of, I'd say it's been 20 years. So the first one was the anxiety and the panic, then the love relationship, and now my business. And what happened in 2015 is I realized the creation of them were all connected in a similar way. So how I manifested my health, how I manifested my love relationship, and now how I'm manifesting my success in business, there was a similar formula that was sort of strewn through it all. And once I saw that, I was like, oh, okay. So this is what I'm supposed to help people with. Got it. Thank you.
Yeah, that's fantastic. I really love the work you do. There's a lot of people that get stuck and get in their own way, have blocks, and really want something more than they have. But they just don't know how to do that. So what is your approach then? Someone you have to have someone that they might be heart-centered, but I know your bio talks about high heels and energy healer, which I love because you throw that all in there.
Yeah.
But do they have to have experience with this energy working, anything like that?
No, absolutely not. I mean, and when the thing is whether I'm a teacher by trade too, so I have a background in education, and the idea of you meet the student where they're at Like that's something from teaching, right? And that's so true in this world of consulting, coaching, helping another person, right? And I leave a lot of, and this is sort of where the spiritual part of it comes, and like the copy on my website, I do leave a lot of that to be channeled through me. And I'm not going to sit here and say that like I'm also a channeler and like I'm a medium. No. But the work I do, a lot of it is about getting out of my way, like my own ego mind and like what I think needs to happen, and listening and tuning in to where that person is. That's what I mean. So when you do that, you meet them where they're at, right? So no, do they need to know all about, like I say, another way that I talk about the work that I do is it's woo-woo meets nitty-gritty, right? So do you have to wear patchouli and wear grass skirts to work with me? No, absolutely not. And at the same time, on the other side of it, am I going to expect you to kind of work your butt off and like apply yourself and do some stuff? Yes, right? So it's definitely meeting people where they're at.
Yeah, I love that.
That's really great.
That's really great. I have an echo. I'm going to try something here. Okay, so I have you on mute just while I ask the question, and then I'll unmute you. So when you started this journey, I know that you were working. Oh, I don't know if I can still see you. Can you still hear me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Okay.
Yeah.
So when you started this journey, you were working in a corporate job. Did you know that it was going to lead you to your own business? Have you always wanted to have one?
Yes, I did want to. Oh, it's too bad that you can't see me. Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you great.
This is so blab, hey? In 2015 blab. But anyways, did I always know I wanted my own business? No, that would have come later. I think that did I always know that I wanted, actually, no, let me put it this way. About 5 years ago, I got the vision that I wanted to be working anywhere in the world from a laptop and a Wi-Fi connection. And even if you think 2010, like so much has changed in the world from 2010 to 2015. Like I laugh about how us entrepreneurs right now are doing live content and things like you can't see us and you can only hear us, and we're doing all this live content. But back then they were able to record themselves. They were able to do all these different things to build their business. So even in 2010 to 2015, it's changed so much. But I remember in 2010 thinking that it was a laptop and a beach. Yeah. That's what I saw. I mean, now it's like a phone and a Wi-Fi connection, whatever, right? Yeah. It was a laptop and a beach. And so it wasn't so much that the vision came from getting the business. And this is important for people to know in their own internal stuff. It's not so much that the business came first. It's the feel for freedom came first. The desire to be free was what the core desire was. The business was my vehicle.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
That's great. It absolutely does.
So one of the things that I do with the like my main belief, philosophy is if you feel like you wanted, and I'm not talking about like I'd want that pair of shoes, like don't get me wrong, everyone likes a new pair of shoes, but I'm talking about those deep like wants. If you feel that, you are meant to have it. Like period. That deep longing, that pull is what is calling to you as your signposts along the way to go after it.
Yeah. I'm just going to put you on mute again, Melissa. But you're absolutely right. And I know there's so many people that are listening that think, oh yeah, sure, but how do you know? What way do you go? And what if you, what if you don't know the path? Like, what if you don't know the how? And it sounds like you didn't necessarily know the how. You just had a vision that you wanted to do something that was going to give you the freedom to be all over. You didn't necessarily know the how. Does it work better now with no echo? Yeah, maybe. So can you hear me okay? Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah. So when you were building this vision or following this vision, you didn't exactly know how or what it was going to lead you to. So how did you keep your mindset settled on the fact that you wanted to have that freedom to do that?
This is such an awesome question. And
We can't hear you very well. Wait, just you want to move this maybe a little bit closer.
is that better?
There you go. No. Technology, you gotta love it, right? No. Oh, now we can hear you.
Now I'm good.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's an awesome question because like, do we have a couple hours or
Yeah. I know.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I'm gonna tell you, so not what I'm gonna tell you is what finally got me to the place where I'm able to maintain a more positive mindset. How about that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because it is such a trial and error, and you're reading books and sometimes you feel like you're barely surviving, but all of that is part of the learning, so
Yeah.
the whole role, right?
Yeah.
But I'll tell you the two things for me this year that have been the the breakthrough point of when things have really started to change. The first thing is I started to look at difficult times and hard times and things going wrong and me not getting sales or me trying to figure this out, or I do all this work and then I'd still see debt, and in the world of form I still saw negative credit card balances and this and that, and there were crickets on the business and nothing was really working, right? So I'm seeing that, like that's what I'm seeing is I started to call that, and this is a lot of the learning that I did from Abraham Hicks. I started to call that contrast. I didn't start to call it like, I stopped calling it like good or bad or whatever. Like I have to heal this or not heal. And don't get me wrong, you have to do healing and stuff. But I let go of all of that, and I said, I'm experiencing this because how else would I know how badly I want something if I didn't have this?
Yeah. How badly? Oh, audio. It says audio only, but I think we can still hear you. Oh no, maybe we can't even hear you.
Trust in my life.
Oh, there you are. Okay, you cut out for a little bit there, Jennifer. So the last part we heard is that how else would you know that this is, what you really wanted if you didn't have that contrast?
Yeah. How else will I know?
Yeah.
Now when I just came out of one, like we have down days. I have down days. You could be a manifestation coach and a mindset coach and everything else. And like, like it's like Krisha, our wonderful nutritionist, like, what, she's never going to eat a chocolate bar? Like, of course she's going to,
Yeah.
and
yeah.
it's bad that she eats a chocolate bar that the nutritionist does or whatever. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's kind of like the mindset manifestation coach. Like, of course we have bad days. Of course we're off.
Yeah.
The difference is the rebound, right? And I bet you Krisha, talking about food, would say the same thing, right? It's fine to have a chocolate bar and whatever, but it's that you go back the next day and go into your tool bag and eat your broccoli and eat your healthy stuff, right? Yeah. Same with us. So I started to use contrast as the idea that, okay, this isn't a bad thing that I'm experiencing this tough time. In fact, I'm going to use it right now because it's massively motivating me to stay focused on my goals, because I don't like how this feels, because this sucks.
Yeah.
And this is the cool thing about it that I realized is the second you do that, you're actually focused back on where you want to go.
Yeah, absolutely.
The second you say, oh, I love this, it's showing me what I really want because I don't want this. You're not focusing on what you don't want anymore. You're actually focused on what you want.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's been huge. That practice has been huge. I've been using it to teach a lot of my clients how to use it. And then the second one I would say is is when I really got the idea truly down about momentum. So momentum is, no matter what, you have momentum going in a certain direction, right? So the Course in Miracles says you always have the choice between fear and love. Okay. And they're not talking romantic love. They're talking about like good feelings, like joy, abundance, peace, like love. And then you have the choice, or you have the choice of fear, which is like scarcity, lack, anxiety, right? At any time you have that choice. If you look at your life and you see more lack, scarcity, fear, debt, I mean, whatever you're talking about, like lots of people want to know about money. So it's sort of like the money thing, is you have the momentum built and going in that direction. That's why you see it. Like you see it. Like I can't get, you see your debt on your computer screen that says negative. And then when you start to realize that you need to change the momentum to what you want. Well, that's great. Like, how am I supposed to do that when all I see is shit around me? Like, thanks for that tip. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Easy, right? Yeah. So what you start to do is you start to ask the universe, God, divine, Mother Nature, whatever, however you connect to it, for some help. And you say, like, I want to go there. I want to go that way. You got your vision. You see it. I want to go over there. Help me. Because I've created so much of this around me. I've obviously need a hand, because otherwise I'd be over there. So can you come help me? And then what you do is you will be, it'll start to come. And I mean, all the great coaches, teachers, influencers, I mean, they all say this in a way like, ask for help, ask for support, trust your intuition. This is all the same thing of what I'm talking about, right? Yeah. And then you start to see the signs showing up. And it can be like a penny on the ground. I'm telling you, that's how it starts. Like, you don't ask for help and then like get annoyed that, the lottery didn't come in the next day. Like, you start small because you have so much momentum in this direction and you're kind of breaking it apart. So you see that penny on the street and you're like, and I call it, and I have so much fun with my clients. We text each other, or they text me and say #evidence. That's our code. It's evidence, evidence, evidence. I got a penny. There is money for me. There is. And what starts to happen when you do that? Someone smile. If you're looking at changing your love story, someone smiles at you. You have a great conversation. Something. You got to get really creative with this. Evidence, 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 evidence. And what starts to happen is now you're building the momentum in the direction you want to go. And it literally is like I'm watching my clients, like it's unbelievable how big their evidence snowballs are now, because I say, like, it's one snowflake, then another, like, and then finally you got the big snowball going down the hill.
Absolutely. And we have some people here online. Life coach SJ said absolutely. And then LJ Works Online says it sometimes seems tough when the signs are small or not immediate. We have to become more aware. And that's so true. You do have to become more aware, because what you might take for granted as, before you become aware is actually the sign leading you in the direction you want to go. And so by training your thought to that rather than the thing you don't want, you start to see more of it, and then the evidence just becomes overwhelming, and then you're like, okay, well, this is exactly what I was looking for anyway. You've been here all along.
Totally brilliant.
Yeah, it's so great. Now they did ask if you could angle your camera up a little bit, because they can't see your eyes, your beautiful eyes, not just your eyes, the beautiful eyes.
That's nice. So I've been doing a whole interview with my nose.
Well, it's because I'm sure they're on phones or something, but your name goes over your eyes. I think that's what it is. So when you're spot on, Jennifer, Life Coach SJ said, when you are making the transition to something new, and it doesn't have to be business, like you said, it could be love, it could be, a new job you want to go for, whatever it is. When you start seeing the evidence and you start taking the steps forward, and then your ego takes over, because we all know it does, what are the tricks that you use to kind of keep looking for the signs, or like to snap yourself out of it, because the ego is strong at the beginning? So what are the things that you do to train yourself to look, away from the ego, or stop listening to the ego as much?
Yeah, awesome. So awesome question. So I would go back now. I would still say that I use the contrast. Like that's because like I'm in contrast right now because it's helping me figure out what I want. And
right.
Good thing, but really change that vibration of like, then what I would do is I put a lot of Abraham Hicks on lately. I kind of like, if I look past it in all of my sort of manifesting creation career, whatever, like just my own personal changing and manifesting things, I've always had something that I was listening to or something. So put on something that like just gets you thinking out of that head. For me right now, it's Abraham Hicks. So they're on YouTube. Throw that on. Watch something inspiring. So listen to something inspiring, watch something inspiring. I just wrote a post about this in my group the other day, is like vibe up your senses to get out of that, right? So listen, watch something. I mean, you can watch, I remember the wonderful Rebecca Dixon when we were the first round of CCC, and she had a thread going where she had us watching
American Idol and stuff.
Like watch those moments. It does work.
It
gets you out of your head. And then do is if Move Your Body, like Shake It Out by Florence.
I love that song
or whatever. I mean, that's right. Like, so get your body moving, move it.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a really great answer. I was actually listening to David Nagel this week, and he was talking about when he used to have the moments that the doubt would creep in. He did the similar thing to what you said, but what he would do is get up and stomp around the house and repeat to himself, God is good all the time, or whatever he needed to say to himself to shake it off. And he said, by being physical while you do it, you're getting every sense involved. So it's very similar to what you were saying. You have a question here. It says, do you start your day with inspiration or schedule it regularly into your day?
Ooh, great question. This is how I'm going to answer this one. And I was learning this, I made a commitment to start my day off with it. I'd say I had a solid 2 years where like I was like daily focused, like really I'd read something inspirational. I would meditate for 5-10 minutes. Like, it's not like I went on for like an hour long. Like, I had to get to work, right? But I had a morning practice. Now it's weaved naturally throughout my whole day. However, I still have a signature morning practice. Like, even if it's for 1 minute or if it's for 30, it's that I've mentally said the intention that I've stopped and I'm like focusing either on my heart center or my connection to the divine, or asking for guidance, or reading a really inspirational, like I love reading Course in Miracles, listening to Abraham Hicks. Like, I do something in the morning with my coffee that's not just like, like scanning through Facebook. I do that after.
No, absolutely. I actually just did a Power Mornings course, and that's exactly the idea. And there was a movie that was done by Riley Dane, who I'm going to be interviewing soon, The Abundance Factor, and he interviewed a bunch of really great gurus in this area, like Gay Hendricks, for example. And every single one of them had a morning routine that included their own time away from electronics that helped them center themselves, and it set the tone of their day. So all the successful people that I've heard from do that exact same thing. So that's great. Thank you for all the love, the hands up or whatever that is. That's wonderful. So we just have about 5 more minutes. Now, I was wondering, do you mind if I put up the link to your Facebook group, Creation Corner? Okay, perfect.
Love it.
And is there anything that you'd like to share with people, about mindset, about, your journey, about what they can hang on to keep them going, that kind of stuff?
That change is possible.
Yes.
I could never say that. that's it. It's that one sentence. I can't even tell you the dark tunnel I was in. It feels like, it was so bad. Like, couldn't even get off the couch with painful anxiety, panic attack, disorder. Such an unhappy marriage. It was unbelievable.
I just had a few more people join. Hi, guys. Thanks for joining.
Hey. Yeah. Dead up to my eyeballs. Like, just everything. And all I can say now 100% is change is possible.
I love that.
But the work. You have to do the work. You have to do the work. And the other thing that I would say is everything that they're saying, the secret is the kind of started it all. Abraham Hicks, Course in Miracles. I mean, what's some other big ones? I don't know, Manifest, whatever.
Think and Grow Rich.
Is Think and Grow Rich. Thank you. Think and Grow Rich. It's all
true. Absolutely. It's all true. One of the things that David mentioned several times is any book that you read or anything that you connect with, it's really important that you keep it in your life on a regular basis. So it's good that you're always listening to Abraham Hicks, because that's something that works really great for you. I love Abraham Hicks. So, I have a book now that I'm on my 6th round of reading it. And every time I pick it up, I swear there's something new in it. And I'm like, how is it possible after 6 times I'm still seeing something new? But that's true. It's keeping it aware in your consciousness. And it's not just, oh my God, I really connected with that book, and then putting it aside, and you don't, because your mind, your momentum, stops you from pulling that into your consciousness and using it on a regular basis if you don't do that.
Totally. Yeah. And tapping.
Oh, tapping. Do you use tapping? Yeah.
Tapping. I do. I just started. I've done a lot of timeline regression therapy. For me, was the most powerful in releasing blocks. So that's another thing I did. But tapping, I've started in 2015. And the reason, we're getting lots of hands up since I've said tapping.
Yeah.
So I got some love there with that. The reason I say tapping is because it's free. It is free. Like if you have Wi-Fi and YouTube, Brad Yates' amazing resource on YouTube for tapping. The book, you can get it in a book, and you can do it anywhere, right? You look like kind of a weirdo when you're driving, like I do sometimes, but you can do it anywhere, and it's powerful stuff. So tapping.
Yeah, absolutely. I tried it a couple of times. I'm glad you said that, because that is something that I'll use again. I do this show every week at the same time. This is my 2nd show. I also have a radio show that I do every 2 weeks. It was a question. And you have a weekly blab as well, right?
Yeah. So what happens my Facebook group's called The Creation Corner. And it's, I help people get their create on. And what I do is I have a guest speaker every week. So that would be great. Yeah. And we're going to have. And so I have a guest speaker every week, guest expert, every week, and they teach us something to create. So I've had Krisha Young in there talking to us about creating a sexy, healthy body. Got the Joy fabulous. Patrol in there, create more joy in our life. And I've had Jo Gifford in there. She's unbelievable. Make more content. And I've got lots of other people coming up soon and in 2016. So sure. I'll get you on the list. Yeah. And so what we do is, when you're the guest expert, we do a weekly blab. So we blab and get it on Joy Patrol, of course.
Yeah, that's awesome. Lisa Schmidt just joined as well. Hi, Lisa. She does some fabulous stuff with dating. I love Lisa. There's another book, The Magic of Thinking Big. Someone recommended that. Is a really great book. I just finished it myself, actually. This is The Magic of Thinking Big. I think it's a different, it's not the same author. I had it online. It's Brooks Goldmine. Is that correct? Is it a different one? Hey, ladies. That's what Lisa said. It's a different author. It's not Elizabeth Gilbert. Is that right? Brooks Goldmine? I'm pretty sure it's a different one, but hopefully he'll come in and say, I know you have to run at 7:30, so you have to get going. I love it. Thank you for joining me. Yeah.
It was awesome talking.
So he said it's David J. Schwartz. The magic of Think Big. Yeah. So, so thanks so much, Jennifer. And I would love to be, a guest in your group. I'm in there anyways, and I love the vibe of it. So everyone who's online, if you want to stay on for a few minutes, I'm here if you have any questions around mindset. And please join Jennifer's group. She's fantastic in the Creation Corner on Facebook. And we'll catch up again soon, Jen. Thank you. Love you. Bye-bye.
Bye. You too. Bye.
So for anyone that's left here, if you guys have any questions, I know there's some people that joined a little bit later. I was only able to get Jennifer for 30 minutes tonight. If you have any questions around mindset or, getting your vibe and going in the right direction, please feel free to jump into the open seat or pop the questions in. And if not, I will be back next week at the same time. I have really enjoyed the Blab platform right now for interviews. So old but great. Yeah, that's great. I've read so many books that are, older that have really hit home in a lot of ways. Oh yeah, hi Gary. Barry, sorry, Gary. Hi, Barry.
Hey, I guess you didn't realize that's an old book I was talking about.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I have it though. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I have it because when you said the title, I knew it wasn't the same one as Elizabeth Gilbert.
No, I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure the Amway people used to read it, and all these old multi-level people back in the 70s and 80s were reading it way before, people didn't even know gosh, how many books can I name that had been out for over 60 years and we don't even realize that's why people were powerful back then.
Yeah,
I mean, nothing really changed. It's just our knowledge is not being taught right anymore.
Yeah, no, absolutely agree. I've been reading a book actually that was written in 1903. So, there's, and just like Jennifer mentioned, she said that, things are always the same. Yeah. Wallace D. Wattles' Science of Getting Rich, of course, that's a classic one. And the information is packaged differently in the different books, but really it boils down to the same information, right?
Right. There's certain basic rules, and it's, I sort of work, I shock people, but I work in the ministry, but I do talk about a lot of stuff about space because people don't understand the Creator was pretty impressive. And, if you start understanding there is certain things that we don't understand. We cannot ever understand because it's so far beyond our mind. We can't think that way. But science is understanding sound waves now do things. They do control things. And it's like they don't know how that works. They can't figure out how that works. But, we don't need to question what works. We just need to figure out how to use it to our advantage.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's one of the things for the people who, call this woo-woo, sure, give it a term woo-woo, but I think that science is just really catching up. I mean, in Pam Grout, E squared, E cubed, she had the experiments with the plants. You talk mean to one plant and you talk really nice to another one. And what it does, one rots and one, stays pristine and grows bigger. And
right.
It's proven. It's just that science hasn't really caught up. Who was just what we haven't figured out and explained. That's absolutely right. It's so true.
I got on a little bit late. This is my first time to find you out here. Teach me a little bit. What are y'all based on, and what are you teaching on? I love the mindset because that's what I do.
Thank you. Oh, that's wonderful. I'm so glad we connected then.
Well, I'm a coach and a mentor. I try to help people find their gifts and how to get paid with their gifts. Instead of giving it away, we need to learn how. I mean, we got to make a living. So you might as well be paid in something you love and what you're good at.
Absolutely. And you know what, actually, in the great books that we've mentioned, they actually talk about make lots of money because you can help more people when you have a basis that's, you're able to reach more people that way. I am a mindset mentor. So I work with people on their mindset. I primarily work with people that, feel stuck because they don't feel confident to move in the direction they want to. They hold themselves back for judgments they've had in their past, etc. And I also work with corporate to help them raise productivity by also at the same time raising employee satisfaction, which typically they tackle one or the other. They don't do it together. So
I'd like to talk to you on that someday off of this, but I work with a friend. He graduated college and everything on advertising, and he started working for some of the biggest companies in the world, like Budweiser and McDonald's and them. And it just made no sense to me. Why do they want to spend $500 million a year on advertising when they could give away, I'll say $400 million on discounts and stuff, and your customers would come even more. It's like the numbers didn't add up to me until one day the light went off. It's not always about the money. I was thinking it's money, money, money. And it's really, the nice way I can put it is, people do not want to stand there and hear a person talk all day long. They would like us to hear their story. You know, if we're willing to shut up and let them tell us their story, it's just like a customer selling a product. If you just shut up and let the customer tell what he wants, give them what they ask for. That's all we got to do. Just give them what they need. And if they're not doing something right or something, maybe we can help improve their lives instead of just try to talk, not listen. That's what I started understanding. Advertising has gone the wrong way. They keep on trying to talk, and they're not listening. And they're wondering, why does YouTube do better now on sales than TV commercials?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you're so right on that. You know, even the subtle thing like Coke did by putting names on Coke bottles, it was a subtle thing, but it was allowing people to connect with a product. And, it's silly when you think about it, but it really did boost their sales when they did that. And I am not even a Coke drinker, and I was looking for names I know.
I can't stand the stuff. Like one that makes me laugh. People don't even know. Milk was not doing that well. This is in the past. I'm not going to say the dates because I might be wrong, but they kept on trying to improve what they were saying until one day the guy just said, got milk. That's all they said. It's just got milk. And their sales went up like outrageous because he says got milk.
Yeah, absolutely. We have a question. I know. We have a comment here. I'm trying to figure out how to get paid for helping others, preferably on a flexible schedule and maybe from that beach we talked about earlier. So Jennifer was mentioning that was one of her, she just knew that she was going to work mobile and have the freedom to work from anywhere. Yeah, I mean, that's a great question, LJ Works. There is ways that you can figure it out. Barry mentioned that he does that as well, so I'm sure you can follow him on here. I tend to work people, they know where they want to go, but they're not comfortable making that leap. So do you have any suggestions, Barry, for her or him? I can't tell.
They need to find out, do they want to be leaders or do they just want to be sellers? There's a saying, you can be.
Oh, thank you, Laura.
Yeah, Laura, you can be an owner with a name, like a branding name. You can brand yourself, or you can be like a Walmart, just carries everything somebody wants and nobody knows who you are.
Right.
eBay is outrageous. So is Amazon. Hardly anybody knows who these people they're buying from. Yeah, they're buying products all day long and they don't know who the person really is.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's just to get a good deal. Or do you want to step out and do you want to be a coach and a mentor, or do some kind of, you're selling a product. I love women get these advantages men can never have. Y'all have so many things about face cleansing and makeup and hair designs and hairbrush. Unlimited things girls can sell. Toenail clippers, toenail, polish. You can do anything. And if a girl just sits down, there was a lady, and I don't even know her name, but she became a multi-millionaire just putting makeup on every day, telling girls how to look pretty with makeup. And now major companies pay her outrageous money just to be on YouTube every day putting makeup on. It's just find a gift people want and then just give it. That's all you got to do. You're going to goof up a lot, and that's great because that's the only way to learn.
Absolutely. Well, and I think the other thing is, don't try to be someone else. Be exactly who you are. And your quirks and what makes you different is actually what's going to be your selling point. That is so key. I want to learn how to build relationships and let products sell themselves. I want to be more customer oriented, but I need income.
Yeah. Income is not always the easiest to get started. Zig Ziglar was probably one of my favorite trainers of all time. And he did for over, I think 4 years, did not make a penny. He just woke up every morning and helped people. And then before he passed away, it's so sad he's gone, but he was paid over $10,000 an hour. He earned it. He built his name up. He became somebody you can trust. Know, like, and trust. That's the old 3 rules we say: know, like, and trust. And that's not easy to find today.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Laura, there's lots of resources that you can go to. Wallace Wattles, he talks about it in Science of Getting Rich. Just move in the direction that's making you feel good, and things will start lining up. Do what Jen said too. Look for the signs, and you'll start, getting more and more of them and working in the right momentum.
There was something I learned today that I knew and I did not realize I was not paying attention to it. There's a 0, a 40, a 70, and 100%. Like think like a drawing. Like I might have to draw it and show you. I'm in the dark really, but if you look at a measurement, everything starts from 0 to 100. And when you first hear about it, you don't really know anything, but before you really start trying to invest or get involved with something, how far do you let it get up before you really put yourself into it? Do you wait until it's 100%, you know everything, or do you get in at 50%? I mean, that's what made me wonder. The most successful people usually get in from 40% all the way up to 70. If it's 70, it's too late. You know, you've already messed up, and you're not really going to do that well, because you need to get involved with something before you spend. Because if you're wasting your time to me is worth a lot. It's not just money. It's worth a lot. It's your knowledge. And if somebody comes in and they're just going to ask you questions and questions, and you're not listening to these questions, you got a problem. We need to start listening to what customers want, because give them what they ask for. That's the easiest thing they're teaching me.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's what I meant, like the 40 to 70%. If you will listen pretty quick, it doesn't take much to understand what you need to sell or what to help people with.
Yeah, absolutely.
Me, I'll give mine up. I have a fear of trying to sell a product sometimes when I know it's so good, but just trying to talk to people and having them understand what I have learned. I can't get them to understand because they haven't done these years and years of experience. And I can't explain it because they want to know, but I can't teach them that. They have to just step out and learn it. That's what I mean, the 40 to 70%. They got to get out there and take a risk, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and it's communicating that the risk is worth taking.
Yeah.
So is it the risk? I'm echoing, sorry. Is the risk better that, if I put you on mute, it might help. So we can't hear you for a second. Nope, that didn't help. If you are risking moving in a new direction, but the risk of staying where you are is bigger, then you're going to move in the new direction. So that's what you have to kind of get clients to look at, is what is it that you really want? What is your big picture goal? And then when you explain that, you get to explain that to them, then you say, okay, if you don't take action towards that, what is going to be the consequence? And then when they see that contrast, then they start thinking, okay, no, I really have to make a change, which might mean I have to invest in a coach. It might mean I have to invest in a product, whatever it is that you need to work with. And, you know, that's really quite an effective sales tool, but it's really, it's not about sales at that point. It's really about helping the person. What is the saying? When the pain of staying the same is more than the pain involved with change, that's when change happens. It's so true. Yeah, so I am about to run out of battery on my laptop, so I'm going to have to jump off here.
It was good seeing you. I thought I would jump on real quick. Thank you for your time.
Well, thank you, Barry. I'm glad we connected, and I do this every week at the same time. So, you know, connect with me on social media. I'd love to have you as a guest someday too.
Yeah, we'll tease each other, and I'll let you know my wild story. I got a crazy story I'll tell people about.
Oh, I would love that.
Yeah.
And thank you, Laura, for being so active on the blab today. That was wonderful. Oh, that's awesome. Nice to meet you too, Laura. Thank you, everyone. And, you know, thanks for my guest earlier, Jennifer Scott. Please jump on to Facebook Creation Corner. She is absolutely fabulous. Talk to you soon next week, same time, Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern. Mindset Mastery. Bye-bye.